In this video, we'll be taking a look at 4 NBA games happening on January 29, 2025, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games, so 8 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 4 NBA games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start. If you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Cleveland Cavaliers versus Miami Heat. The Cleveland Cavaliers, boasting an impressive record of 37-9, are set to travel to South Beach for an Eastern Conference showdown against the Miami Heat, who currently hold a 23-22 record. These two teams previously faced off in December, with the Heat securing a 9-point victory on their home court. The Cavaliers are entering this matchup fresh off a dominant 110-91 win over the Detroit Pistons, where they covered the spread as 11-point home favorites. Meanwhile, the Heat are also coming off a home victory, having defeated the Orlando Magic 125-119, covering as 1.5-point underdogs. Both teams are dealing with key absences heading into this game. The Cavaliers will continue to be without Isaac Okoro and Karis LeVert, while the Heat remain without Josh Richardson and the suspended Jimmy Butler. The Cavaliers have been slightly hampered by injuries recently, which has contributed to a slight dip in their performance. On the other hand, the Heat were enduring a rough patch before pulling off an exhilarating double overtime win against the Magic on Monday. The year 2025 has not been particularly favorable for the Cavaliers, as 5 of their 9 losses this season have occurred in this month. Cleveland's defensive performance has not been as sharp as it was earlier in the season, and opposing teams have been capitalizing on this weakness. In their last meeting, the Heat defeated the Cavaliers by 9 points, but it's worth noting that Jimmy Butler was in the lineup for that game. Miami has also been inconsistent this month, posting a 7-8 record and failing to secure a win against a team with a winning record in January. The ongoing drama surrounding Jimmy Butler has been a significant distraction for the Heat, who are clearly struggling to navigate the situation. Tyler Herro and Bam Adebayo have had to step up in a big way for Miami to secure victories, but their supporting cast has been inconsistent. Donovan Mitchell had a tough outing in the last game against the Heat, but I anticipate a much stronger performance from him in this matchup. While the Heat have managed to win a few games recently without Jimmy Butler, the level of competition they are about to face is significantly higher. The absence of Butler is not just a loss in terms of production, it has also become a major distraction for a team that is striving to secure a playoff spot. The uncertainty surrounding Butler's future, whether he will be traded, what the team might receive in return, or if he will be forced to rejoin the team, has created an unstable environment. This is far from ideal for the Heat, who have been experimenting with their lineup in an attempt to prepare for the future. They have been starting rookie Delaware, who has shown flashes of potential but is not well suited to match up against the Cavaliers' formidable frontcourt duo of Evan Mobley and Jarrett Allen. Miami's strategy of pairing Ware with Adebayo in the frontcourt is unlikely to be effective against Cleveland, which boasts one of the best frontcourts in the league. The Heat secured a 122-113 victory over the Cavaliers on December 8th, but I find it difficult to envision a similar outcome this time around. Despite Cleveland's recent struggles, they remain the superior team in this matchup and are poised to avenge their earlier loss to the Heat. While the Cavaliers have not been at their absolute best lately, they are still far ahead of the Heat, who are currently mired in off-court drama. The betting line for this game is reasonable, so Cleveland to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. The absence of Jimmy Butler is a significant blow to the Heat, as it removes their toughest perimeter defender and a key part of their defensive identity, given his role as their leader on that end of the floor. Cleveland's offense, which has been one of the most potent in the league this season, will look to exploit this weakness by spreading the floor and creating scoring opportunities both inside and out. Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland are high-volume three-point shooters who convert at a strong rate, while Max Strus adds another reliable perimeter threat. This spacing creates more room room for Jarrett Allen and Evan Mobley to operate around the basket, as defenses are unable to collapse into the paint. On the other side, the Heat will rely heavily on Tyler Herro's scoring ability as they shift to a more offense-oriented approach without Butler. Miami scored 125 points in their last game, while Cleveland has scored 129 or more in 2 of their last 3 outings. Cleveland has been the best offensive team in the NBA this season, and although they have had some defensive lapses, their ability to score in bunches remains unmatched. The Cavaliers rank 7th in the league in pace and are launching a high volume of three-point shots. Miami, meanwhile, has been inconsistent on both ends of the floor but is averaging nearly 15 three-pointers per game and has done a decent job of taking care of the ball. The Cavaliers' recent defensive struggles could provide opportunities for Tyler Herro and Bam Adebayo to exploit. The previous meeting between these two teams exceeded the projected total points, and I expect this game to follow suit. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. Sacramento Kings versus Philadelphia 76ers. The Sacramento Kings and Philadelphia 76ers are set to face off this Wednesday in an exciting NBA matchup at the Wells Fargo Center. This will be a rematch of their previous meeting on New Year's Day, where the Kings secured a hard-fought victory over the 76ers by a margin of 6 points. Heading into this contest, Sacramento holds a record of 24-22, with a 17-27-2 mark against the spread, while Philadelphia sits at 17-27 overall, struggling with a 16-28-0 record against the spread. Both teams will be looking to make a statement, but the circumstances surrounding each squad are quite different compared to their last encounter. Sacramento will once again have the luxury of playing with a fully healthy roster, giving them an advantage in terms of overall team depth and chemistry. On the other hand, the Philadelphia 76ers will be forced to compete without several key players, most notably Joel Embiid, Paul George, and Andre Drummond. Their absence will undoubtedly put additional pressure on the remaining members of the squad, making it a difficult challenge for Philadelphia to overcome. The 76ers are also dealing with the fatigue that comes from playing the second game of a back-to-back, which does not bode well for their chances. With an already injury-depleted lineup, the heavy workload on players like Tyrese Maxey, Eric Gordon, and Kelly Oubre Jr. could take its toll, potentially affecting their overall effectiveness on the court. Meanwhile, the Kings have been playing some of their best basketball of the season, having secured victories in 7 of their last 10 games. However, just as they seem to be hitting their stride, Sacramento was rocked by unexpected news. Star point guard De'Aaron Fox has reportedly requested a trade. Such developments can create distractions within a locker room, leading to uncertainty and affecting team morale. While Fox remains on the roster for now, his long-term commitment may be in question, and it's worth considering whether his teammates are also thinking about their own futures. Given the emotional weight of this situation, it wouldn't be surprising if the Kings come out sluggish, especially playing on the road. At the same time, the 76ers have quietly put together an impressive 3-game winning streak, defying expectations despite their injuries. So the Philadelphia 76ers to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. When looking at recent trends, Sacramento has been involved in several high-scoring affairs, particularly in road games. The Kings have played 7 games away from home this month, and 5 of those matchups have gone over the projected total. Additionally, in their last 12 games overall, the over has hit in 9 contests, giving them an over-under record of 9-3-0 during that span. A major contributing factor to this trend is their offensive firepower. They are currently averaging an impressive 122 points per game in January, ranking second in the league. However, their defensive struggles are just as noteworthy, as they are allowing an average of 117 points per game, ranking them 23rd in points surrendered. Similarly, the 76ers have also been involved in several high-scoring games, particularly on the defensive end. Philadelphia has allowed 6 of its last 7 opponents to score at least 115 points, including all 3 of their most recent home games. Their defensive inefficiency is reflected in their ranking this month, as they currently sit at 24th in the league in scoring defense, giving up an average of 117 points per game. With that in mind, this matchup presents an opportunity for the 76ers to make improvements in certain areas, particularly when it comes to earning more free throw attempts and limiting turnovers, 2 aspects that hurt them in their previous game against Sacramento. Given both teams' recent scoring trends and defensive vulnerabilities, all signs point toward another high-scoring affair. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. Denver Nuggets versus New York Knicks. A highly anticipated matchup between two playoff contenders takes center stage on Wednesday's NBA schedule. The Denver Nuggets are coming off a disappointing 129-121 loss to the Chicago Bulls on Monday night, where they failed to cover as -9.5-point favorites. Meanwhile, the New York Knicks delivered an impressive performance on Monday, securing a dominant 143-106 victory as -4-point favorites at home. Both teams are looking to build momentum as they continue their push toward the postseason. In terms of injuries, the Nuggets remain without Spencer Jones, while the Knicks are monitoring Josh Hart, who is listed as questionable due to knee soreness. The Nuggets will undoubtedly be frustrated with their recent performances, as they've suffered 2 consecutive losses despite having all their key players available. Prior to these setbacks, Denver had been in excellent form. On the other hand, the Knicks have been thriving over the past few weeks, showcasing their potential with a commanding win over the surging Memphis Grizzlies on Monday. The New York Knicks are currently riding a wave of success, having won 7 of their last 10 games. Their home court advantage at Madison Square Garden provides an additional boost, making them even more formidable in front of their passionate fans. The Knicks can also draw confidence from their previous meeting with the Nuggets in November, where they secured a convincing 145-118 victory. However, the Nuggets have also been playing some of their best basketball of the season, boasting a 7-3 record both straight up and against the spread in their last 10 games. With Nikola Jokic performing at an elite level and the team eager to bounce back from 2 disappointing road losses, the Nuggets present a compelling case. Additionally, Josh Hart's questionable status weakens the Knicks' position, as his contributions on both ends of the floor are invaluable to their success. While there are strong arguments to be made for both teams in this matchup, the uncertainty surrounding Josh Hart's availability tilts the scales in favor of the Nuggets. As underdogs, Denver offers significant value in this spot, especially given their recent form and motivation to rebound from their recent struggles. So the Denver Nuggets to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. The first meeting between these two teams was a high-scoring affair, with a combined 263 points scored, easily surpassing the 234.5-point total. The Nuggets rank 5th in the league in possessions per game and 11th in field goal attempts, indicating their preference for a faster-paced game. In contrast, the Knicks rank 28th in possessions per game and 19th in field goal attempts, suggesting a more methodical approach. However, New York has been excelling offensively lately, averaging 123 points over their last 8 games. Similarly, the Nuggets have scored at least 121 points in 4 of their last 6 outings. The over has hit in 4 of the last 7 games between these two teams, further supporting the case for a high-scoring contest. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. Chicago Bulls versus Boston Celtics. The Chicago Bulls are preparing to take on the Boston Celtics in what is expected to be an electrifying Eastern Conference showdown at TD Garden. Fans and analysts alike are eagerly anticipating this matchup, especially given the history between these two teams. The last time they met on December 21, 2024, the Celtics delivered a commanding performance, securing a dominant 123-98 victory on the road. So far this season, these rivals have faced each other 3 times, with Boston currently leading the series 2-1. This game presents an opportunity for the Bulls to even the score and prove they can compete with one of the top teams in the conference. Chicago will be without star guard Zach LaVine, who remains absent due to personal reasons, while Kobe White is listed as questionable, adding uncertainty to their lineup. On the other side, Boston has its own injury concerns, as Sam Hauser, Al Horford, and Jason Tatum are all questionable heading into this contest. The Celtics have won 2 out of 3 games against the Bulls this season, with Chicago's lone victory coming in a hard-fought doubleheader matchup back in December. Despite their strong position, Boston has experienced a slight decline in form. After a red-hot 16-3 start to the season, they have cooled off, winning just 16 of their last 28 games since the beginning of December. While they are still among the elite teams in the league, they haven't displayed the same level of dominance that fans have grown accustomed to. Meanwhile, the Bulls have been struggling significantly, dropping 7 of their last 9 games despite having a relatively healthy roster during that stretch. Zach LaVine's absence will undoubtedly impact their chances against the Celtics. It has been some time since we have seen the Boston Celtics struggle to the extent that they have recently, winning just 5 of their last 10 games. Over this stretch, their offensive efficiency has taken a noticeable hit, with declines in their points per game, field goal percentage, and three-point shooting percentage. In fact, Boston has averaged 5 fewer points per game in their last 10 contests compared to their season-long scoring average. This dip in production has raised questions about whether championship fatigue is starting to set in, as their determination and intensity appear to have waned. One concerning trend for Boston is their inability to close out games effectively. They have already blown 9 fourth-quarter leads this season, which matches their total from the entirety of last season. Meanwhile, the Bulls secured an impressive 129-121 home victory against the Denver Nuggets on Monday night, proving that they are still capable of competing at a high level when they execute well. Given the number of players currently dealing with injuries, this is certainly a game where checking the lineups before tip-off is crucial. That being said, the Celtics are heavy favorites at home, and it's difficult to envision them losing this matchup outright. However, if the Bulls can replicate the level of play they showed in their recent win over the Nuggets, they have the potential to keep this game competitive. In terms of their against-the-spread records this season, Chicago has been slightly better, standing at 22-24-1 against the spread, while Boston lags behind with an 18-28-1 against the spread record. One of the biggest issues for the Celtics this season has been their inability to maintain leads. They have squandered double-digit leads entering the fourth quarter and lost outright on 3 separate occasions. Historically, games between these two teams have been tightly contested, and this one could follow the same pattern. Despite their recent struggles, the Bulls have demonstrated resilience and an ability to stay in games against high-caliber opponents. Their offense has been particularly effective, ranking 5th in the league in points per game, which should help them challenge a Boston defense that has occasionally shown vulnerabilities. One recent example of these defensive lapses was their loss to the Houston Rockets, where they allowed 116 points. Meanwhile, the Celtics have remained a .500 team over their last 10 games, yet they continue to be given highly inflated point spreads by oddsmakers. Over their last 7 games, Boston has covered the spread in only 3 of them. Now, with Horford, Hauser, and Tatum appearing on the injury report, they are still being treated as overwhelming favorites. This season, the Celtics have struggled in situations where they are heavy favorites, going just 1-4 against the spread in their last 5 games as double-digit favorites. 2 of those against the spread losses were outright defeats. While the Bulls have had their fair share of struggles, and the absence of Lavine is a significant setback, Boston's tendency to underperform against large spreads makes them a risky pick. Betting on the Bulls to cover as underdogs seems like the more reasonable play here, especially if Jason Tatum ends up sitting out. Of course, checking the injury report before placing any bets is strongly advised. So the Chicago Bulls to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. Offensively, the Celtics are averaging 117 points per game, while the Bulls are just behind them at 117 points per contest. Combined, these teams produce an impressive 234 points per game, already surpassing the current projected total line. Both squads favor an up-tempo style of play, and Boston's crisp ball movement, evidenced by their strong assist-to-turnover ratio, consistently creates high-quality scoring opportunities. Meanwhile, Chicago's reliable three-point shooting allows them to remain competitive in high-scoring affairs, further increasing the probability of a game that surpasses the total line. While Boston has generally been strong on the defensive end, they have shown cracks in recent performances, most notably allowing 116 points to the Rockets. The Bulls, on the other hand, have struggled defensively all season, surrendering an average of 120 points per game. This defensive weakness should provide Boston with plenty of opportunities to score. When examining offensive efficiency metrics, both teams rank among the best in the league. Chicago holds the 15th spot in offensive rating with a 112 mark, while Boston sits in 3rd place with an elite 118.6 offensive rating. Additionally, both teams have been effective in their shot selection, with the Bulls ranking 9th in effective field goal percentage at 55.3% and the Celtics narrowly ahead of them in 8th place at 55.4%. Given the offensive firepower on both rosters and their recent defensive inconsistencies, this matchup has all the ingredients for a high-scoring affair. Both teams have proven themselves as offensive juggernauts this season, making an overbet on the projected total a logical choice. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.